Hi friends, this is the math lesson for second grade. This is Unit 4, Lesson 22, our last lesson of this unit. I feel like this has been a long one, so let's give it a go. We are going to practice two-step word problems again. If you would like to try all 6 on your own, please feel free. Remember, you can always come back to the video to help you solve a problem if you are stuck. Make sure you have page 213 in front of you and a pencil, and we'll get started. Lynn gets $38 for babysitting. She spends $12 on a present for her mother and puts the rest of the money in a jar. So just stop there for a moment. Does that sound like a normal story problem? Yes, it does. It is a normal story problem, just missing that question. But we know there's 2 numbers and an unknown. Let's keep reading just to make sure we understand the whole thing before getting started. She then gives some money to her sister, and now she has 18. How many dollars does Lynn give her sister? So she starts with 38, she spends 12, and she has some left. So let's start right there with that first question and solve. So 38, she has 38, she spends 12. Let's see how much she's left with. 8 take away 2 is 6, and 3 take away 1 is 2. So she has $26 left. Now, she then, out of that $26, gives some money to her sister and then has a total of 18 left. So we're trying to figure out how much Lynn gives to her sister. So here we are missing a partner. If you would like to do the adding up method, feel free to turn this into an addition equation and do that. I'm going to just subtract. I know I can't do 6 take away 8, so I go next door, cross off the 2, change it to a 1, and bring back 10. 16 minus 8 is 8, and check my 10s always. 1 minus 1 is 0. So Lynn ends up having $8 left. So how many? There's our label, $8. All right, number 2. Russell has 28 marbles. Ridge has 12 fewer marbles than Russell. Natasha has as many marbles as Russell and Ridge together. How many marbles does Natasha have? So this sounds like a comparison bar problem. I have a bunch of different people. I have 2 people for sure and the word fewer. So let's just ignore Natasha for right now and let's solve this first problem. So get your comparison bars ready. And since both names start with an R, we're going to do RU for Russell and RI for Ridge. So it says Russell has 28, Ridge has 12 fewer. So that tells me that Ridge goes on the bottom and Russell goes on the top. I can see here that Russell has 28 marbles, so that goes in his box. And that Ridge has 12 fewer, so whatever is attached to fewer goes in the circle. And now I can solve for good old Ridge. So I am missing a partner here. I'm going to do 28 minus 12. 8 minus 2 is 6, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So I know, and I always on these two-step problems like to write in that box what that person has or what the question mark represents. Now, let's go back to our story problem. It says Natasha has as many marbles as Russell and Ridge together. So now I need to figure out how many do Russell and Ridge have together, which I can do because I have Ridge is right here and Russell's right here. So this, I don't need another set of comparison bars. I can carefully add 28 plus 16. So go ahead and do that now. 8 plus 6 is 14 with a new group. 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 1 more is 4. So Natasha has 44 marbles. And there's our label. All right, number 3. We're almost halfway done. Deep breath. Let's keep going. Mr. Verdi is sewing costumes for the school play. He needs 26 buttons, blue buttons. He also needs 16 green buttons and 34 red buttons. How many buttons does Mr. Verdi need in all? Now, this problem, it can be a one-step problem, depending on how you solve it. Do you remember a long time ago when we would solve problems that looked like this, where we had to add 3 numbers? I'm trying to figure out how many buttons does Mr. Verdi need in all? So you had the option of solving by adding 2 together first. These equal a 10, and then I can add 3 more. So if you would like, you can add 2 of your partners together and then add your third one to that total. Or you can try and add all 3 at once. I will show you both ways. Now, I have 26, 34, and 16. I am going to add 26 and 34 to start. Think about that. Why am I doing that? I know that 6 and 4 equal 10. So when I add those together, it's going to give me what we call a friendly number, something that is easy to add to. So 6 plus 4 is 10, and a new group. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 more is 6. Now I can take that total and add it to my third number. Because it's a friendly number, it's a pretty simple equation. 0 plus 6 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. So our answer is 76 buttons. Now, if you would rather solve it by adding them all together at once, let me show you what that looks like. So you have to very carefully line them up. And then you're going to add. I know that 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 6 more is 16. Then I have my new group. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 3 more is 7. Now, either way is perfectly acceptable to do. Whatever you are more comfortable with, I am fine with. If you're going to get it wrong, then don't try the different method. Just do the method that you are most comfortable with. All right, friends, go ahead and turn your papers over. Again, if you would like to work on these on your own, feel free. If you would rather stay with me, let's keep on going. So, Jolinda starts with 56 patches for her quilt. 25 are red and the rest are green. Now pause there. Does that sound like a normal problem? Yes, it does. I'm going to keep that in mind. She adds some more green patches to the quilt, and now there are 36 green patches in her quilt. How many green patches did she add to the quilt? So I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I know that here is my first problem. Okay, so I have 56 total. 25 are red, and I'm trying to figure out how much are green. So 6 minus 5 is 1, and 5 minus 2 is 3. So I know that 31 patches are green to start. Then I learn that she adds some more green patches to the quilt. So she has 31. She adds some more, and now she has 36. You might already know that answer if you do. If you don't, you can do your subtraction. 6 minus 1 is 5. 3 minus 3 is 0. For an answer of 5 green patches. And yes, you must say green patches because we have different color patches and we need to be specific. All right, number 12. Gabe and Juan find 32 feathers. Mari and Kayla find 12 more feathers than Gabe and Juan. If Mari finds 19 feathers, how many feathers does Kayla find? Okay, to be totally honest with you guys, I don't love this problem because I think the names make it really confusing. Okay, so we're going to call Gabe and Juan, we're going to call them GB. Okay, and we're going to call Mary and Kayla MK. So GB find 32 feathers. MK find 12 more feathers than GB. Does that sound like a comparison bar problem? Yes, it does. So let's get our comparison bars ready. We have two sets of people and the word more. So now I need to figure out who found more, GB or MK. It says GB finds 32, MK finds 12 more than GB. So that tells me that MK goes on top and GB goes on the bottom. Now I can start to fill in my numbers. I know that I have 12 more, so that goes in my oval. I know that GB found 32, so that goes in their box. And now I can find my total for MK. So I have 32 plus 12. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 3 plus 1 is also 4. Okay, now here comes the second step. If Mari finds 19 feathers, how many feathers does Kayla find? So we have to go back to Mari and Kayla. We know they found a total of 44 feathers. If one of them finds 19, how many did the other find? So again, we have a total. We know one of the partners is 19. We need to figure out what is our other partner. So we have 44 minus 19. 4 minus 9. Can I do it? No. So I go next door, cross off the 4, change it to a 3, and bring back 10. 14 minus 9 is 5. And 3 minus 1 is 2. So Kayla specifically found 25 feathers. All right, last but not least, the last problem of our lessons for this unit. Let's do it. Kyle plants 15 seeds in the first pot. He plants 12 seeds in the second pot and 18 seeds in the third pot. The fourth pot is large. He plants as many seeds in the fourth pot as he does in all 3 of the other pots. How many seeds does Kyle plant in the 4 pots all together? You might be thinking, Mrs. Peterson, are you sure this is a 2-step problem? It sort of is a 2-step. I think it's more like 3. Okay, so we know that Kyle has 4 pots, right? So 1, 2, 3, and then we know the fourth one is much larger. And I know that there's 15 in this pot, 12 in this pot, 18 in that pot, and I'm not sure how many are in that pot. But what I do know about that large last pot is that he planted the same amount as he did in all 3 of these together, as he did that one. So first what I'm going to do is I need to add all 3 of these pots. You can choose to add 2 at a time, or you can add all 3 together. When I add all 3 together, I notice that 2 plus 8 equals 10, plus 5 more equals 15. Don't forget your new group. And then I have 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 45. So we just figured out how many he planted in that 4th pot. Now, if you need a minute to finish that adding, go ahead and pause the video. The question that we have to go back to is, how many did he plant in the 4 pots all together? So I know that here is this one, 45, and I already figured out how many he planted in those 3. So I can take 45 and add it to 45 to get my total number of seeds in all 4 pots. Take a minute, add 45 plus 45. All right, 5 plus 5 is 10 with a new group. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. So we get an answer of 90 seeds. Whew! That's a lot of seeds, Kyle. All right, my friends, here are the answers if you need to check for page 214. And here are the answers for page 213 if you need to check here. All right, my friends, that is it for today. Great job. We'll see you later.